Hamas, in their political manifesto that got them elected by the majority of Gazans, said the final day of judgment does not come till every Jew is dead. Didn't say every Zionist, doesn't say every Zionist. This is in their manifesto. Every Jew is dead.
So here's good old Tom. He's setting the record straight about Hamas, stating they want to kill all Jews. It's in their charter.
How are you going to deal with that as a country? They want the Article 2 on the Hamas manifesto. So remember, Hamas is like the Labour Party. Not much difference, to be honest, yeah? But Hamas, in their political manifesto that got them elected by the majority of Gazans, said the final day of judgment does not come till every Jew is dead. Didn't say every Zionist, doesn't say every Zionist. This is in their manifesto. Every Jew is dead. How do you negotiate with that? And when they say the majority voted for Hamas, the rest of the population voted for Fatah. It's another terrorist group. What are you talking about?
Note how he says it's in Article 2. Well, actually, Article 2 of the 1988 Charter states this: the Islamic resistance movement is one of the wings of Muslim Brotherhood in Palestine. Muslim Brotherhood movement is a universal organization which constitutes the largest Islamic movement in modern times. It is characterized by its deep understanding, accurate comprehension, and its complete embrace of all Islamic concepts of all aspects of life: culture, creed, politics, economics, education, society, justice and judgment, and spreading of Islam, education, art, information, the science of the occult, and conversion to Islam. So there's nothing about killing of Jews in Article 2. Here's what Patrick Bet David on what Hamas Charter states. This is what he says.
If you read Hamas's charter, 1988, versus the 2017 charter, their original charter, you know what it says? If you can pull it up, Rob, I don't know if you have it or not. If you don't have it, I'll just read it to you.
This is when their first one, Pat?
This is their charter. This is what, like, their Bill of Rights.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Let me read you their Bill of Rights. Here's Hamas's Bill of Rights, the OG one, the 1988, which is what, 35 years ago.
What they were founded on, their founding principles.
Original founding principle. The complete it's 4 themes. Number 1, the complete destruction of Israel as an essential condition for the liberation of Palestine and the establishment of a theocratic state based on Islamic law, Sharia law. Number 1. Number 2, the need for both unrestrained and unceasing holy war, jihad, to attain the above objective, point number 1. Number 3, the deliberate disdain for and dismissal of any negotiated resolution or political settlement of Jewish and Muslim claims to the Holy Land. Number 4, the reinforcement of historical anti-Semitic tropes and calumnies married to sinister conspiracy theories, okay?
Now, I don't know if he's being deceptive or if he's just an idiot, but I sort of tend to think it's a bit of both when it comes to him. But he's not reading the charter. He's reading from someone's summary of what they think the charter or the themes of the charter are. It's deceptive because it looks like he's reading what the charter states, but he isn't. You see, he talks about 4 points, or the 4 points of the charter. Well, the first 4 points of the charter, the first one states that the ideology is Islam. The second one generally states it's a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. The third one, which is actually under the section of structure and formation, that it's consisted of Muslims who have given their allegiance to Allah and wants to fight the oppressors. And the fourth one says that it's open to all Muslims as long as they follow their program, keep its secrets, carry out its duties, and wants to be part of its ranks. It's like night and day what's been propagandized and what the actual charter states. Now, I'm not here to defend Hamas nor express any support for them. I have my own criticisms of them and also their charter. They're also considered a proscribed organization in the United Kingdom. But for journalistic integrity, it's important to actually understand what the Hamas group, or this H group, states, because we know that Israel attempts to frame their genocide as a war between Israel and Hamas, even though they're engaged in targeting hospitals, mosques, churches, bakeries, farms. They've deliberately targeted children, journalists, and health workers. But the way that they attempt to get away with this, particularly in the West, is to present this as a war not against Palestinians, not as an ethnic cleansing project, not as a greater Israel project, but as a war against this terrorist organization called Hamas. And then their propagandists and politicians, they promote this idea of, well, what can we do? What can Israel do when Hamas wants to kill all Jews, wants all Jews dead? We can't negotiate with irrational, hate-filled individuals who want to wipe us out because, you know, it's in their charter. The irony is that Netanyahu actually helped prop up this group as a way to divide Palestinian resistance and help put an end to the demands of a Palestinian state. But anyways, because the vast majority of people aren't bothered or not going to bother reading through Hamas's charter, they can just get away with these lies to manipulate the ignorant into supporting the Zionist colonial project. Top of the quotes they love to bring is that the charter quotes the hadith of the end times, which states, "The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews. When the Jews will hide behind stones and trees, the stones and trees will say, 'O Muslim, O Abdullah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him.' Only the Gharqad tree would not do that because it's one of the trees of the Jews." And this is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Now I can understand how non-Muslims could misunderstand the hadith and the context of this hadith, and I'll explain that later. But if they read in the same charter from 1988, Article 31, it also states, under the wing of Islam, it is possible for the followers of the three religions, Islam, Christianity and Judaism, to coexist in peace and quiet with each other. Peace and quiet would not be possible except under the wing of Islam. Past and present history are best witness to that. That's what their charter says. So how do you go from, in their charter, they want to kill all Jews, and also stating in the very same charter that Jews, Muslims and Christians can coexist peacefully? It's because the context is key. Even in the explanation of that particular hadith found in Bukhari and Muslim, which is, explained by various scholars of Islam, that the context is generally connected to battle, and in certain hadith it talks about battle of the Dajjal, and that this isn't just a command to kill all Jews, but that there will be a fight between those Jews who join the army of Dajjal. So the context is quite clear. It is about the battlefield, and in that battlefield there will be people from a Jewish background or call themselves Jews who will be fighting on behalf of the Dajjal. And it's there that the command to fight exists. Not for all Jews, not for the women and the children. We don't have that type of text within Islam. Remember, whenever we take our Islamic text, we don't just cherry pick one verse or one particular hadith and then make a generalization. That's not how usulul fiqh works, means principles of jurisprudence. Rather, we understand all the ayat and ahadith related to that issue, and then after that, we extract the ruling and understanding of that particular hadith. In the same way, when you look at the idioms of cultural language and trying to translate it, the worst thing you can do is approach it anachronistically. What that means is superimposing your culture, your understanding, your language upon the intended meaning of the text. You see, the charter doesn't apply this hadith generally. As I said, Article 31 of the 1988 Constitution, or Charter I should say, explicitly states that Jews and Christians can coexist peacefully with Muslims. So how can it be a call to kill all Jews then, if they can peacefully coexist? So it's clear what the Charter is talking about. It's in the context of warfare, and those people from a particular background that are seen as engaging in oppression and occupation of what they consider to be their Palestinian land. The land actually that they were ethnically cleansed from Zionists in the name of creating a homeland for Jews. Foreign Jews, by the way, who weren't actually indigenous to Palestine. Like I said, I'm not here to defend Hamas. I'm not here to argue that the Charter is great and defend that. No, I have my criticisms. And you and I can disagree with Hamas. But to lie and manipulate the text to justify genocide, that's just a whole different issue. Again, just to reiterate, I'm not supporting this group, nor even saying there aren't even problems with its original 1988 Charter. But it's about being sincere and having some integrity. But let's be honest, sincerity and integrity aren't words that go well with Tommy Robinson or other Zionist paid shills. What actually makes it worse is that Hamas reissued a revised version of their charter in 2017 to spell out what they probably thought was clear in the 1988 charter, that their fight wasn't against Jews because of their Judaism, but it was against the Zionist project. Its conflict is with the Zionist project, not with the Jews because of their religion. That's what Article 16 states of the 27 edition of the Hamas Charter, going on to state in Article 17 that it rejects the persecution of any human being or the undermining of his or her rights on nationalistic, ethnic, religious or sectarian grounds. It also recalls on occasion that it is the Zionists who constantly identify Judaism with Jews, and that The Jewish problem, anti-Semitism, and the persecution of Jews are phenomena fundamentally linked to European history and not to the history of the Arabs and the Muslims or to their heritage. And again, the Charter reiterates that Jews can live in Palestine so long as they reject Zionism. Remember, Zionism believes that Palestine, the whole of it, and even beyond, is the sole right of a particular ethno-racial group called the Jews. In 2018, Israel brought in a law called the Nation-State Law, which states that the right to exercise national self-determination in Israel is unique to the Jewish people. Even the claims that, but there's Muslims and Arabs who live in Israel. The fact remains they are permitted to live there so long as they remain a significant minority. Thus, we have laws restricting Arab Israelis from bringing in their spouses from outside of Israel and restricting areas where they're permitted to live in within the areas of Israel, within various kibbutz. Therefore, for Hamas, the idea of the destruction of Israel doesn't equate to the destruction of Jews. Rather, it means the destruction of the ethno-racial apartheid state called Israel and the return of these people back to their lands that they were ethnically cleansed from. Even this idea that peace and coexistence can occur with Jews, Christians, and Muslims under Islam is not something Muslims themselves just promote, but even rabbinical Jews also state this.
I'm not a Muslim, but I wish that the Caliphate would come back, and I'll tell you why. The Caliphate have a way to protect the poor people. The jizya that we used to pay, it's only for the rich Jews. Poor Jews that didn't have money used to receive tax credit from the Muslims. Caliphate was the justice among the Caliphate was amazing.
Avi Shalem is also a Jewish secular writer who was originally born in Iraq, and he remarks that it was only after Zionism that instigation between Arab and Jewish communities began to appear within Arab countries, even with Zionists themselves undertaking false flag bombings in Iraq against their Jewish brethren. That's because they wanted to change the demographics of Palestine by encouraging and pushing Jews out of Arab countries, out of Iraq or Yemen or North Africa, etc., to populate Palestine and justify the ethno-racial state. Anyways, I thought it's important to refute these idiots and demonstrate their deceptive lying nature to justify genocide against the Palestinians. Again, not defending nor supporting Hamas, not even saying there aren't problems with the 1988 Charter, particularly referencing the fake Elders of Zion document. But it has to be clear that whether we're talking about the 1988 Charter or the revised 2017 Charter, is pretty clear. Nowhere was it calling for, as an objective, the killing or the death of all Jews. That's just dishonest. If you like our video and you want to see it increase and our reach increase, please comment below, inshallah. Share it too. And maybe if you haven't subscribed, you can do that too. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.